How was your...
Fine.
Given any more thought to Karen's phone call?
Who?
Karen, the woman who...
I was just kidding, Paul. I didn't forget the name of my fucking birth mother. Jesus. Hey, have you ever heard of RISD?
The art school?
Yeah, they have this, summer program that I kind of want to go to.
Do you want to tell me about it?
There are like 200 kids there, all different kinds of artists, and you live in dorms and take classes, and then once a week you have these crits. And I heard from this girl that went there last year that on Thursday before crit, the whole school like stays up all night and everybody comes out in the hall and plays music, and it sounds awesome.
It does. Sounds great.
I applied online
Really? When?
a few days ago. I sent them some of the pictures I showed you. You liked the one of the Statue of Liberty, right?
Oh, yeah, very much.
You didn't think it was like too cliche?
No. I thought it was really interesting.
Interesting is what somebody says when they think something is a load of shit.
I thought it was a very striking image. Two boats passing in front of her, one old, one modern. Her placement in the picture made me think of her place in history.
Whatever. As long as you didn't hate it.
So you completed the application?
Yeah. Even got Ms. Yu to write me a letter of recommendation. Do you want to see the brochure?
Sure. It looks incredible.
Showed that brochure to Marissa last night. Do you want to know what she said?
What?
I'm not going to pay for that shit.
That what she really said?
No.
So what did she actually say?
We can't afford it. She didn't even look at the book. She wouldn't even look.
Is there some kind of financial aid that you can apply for?
No.
Have you asked?
It's for rich kids, Paul. It's like $6,000 for 3 weeks.
Well, maybe there are some options available through the school. Have you talked to your guidance counselor?
Ms. Yu? I told her I had it covered.
You said that you had the finances under control.
Yeah.
Tell me about the plan.
200 for a blowjob. For $250, I'll take it up the ass, but you provide the lube. I'm kidding. I'm gonna sell my Adderall.
But...
I'm still kidding. I'm gonna call Karen.
Your birth mother? Or is that a joke, too?
No. She's rich, Paul. She lives in Westchester, and she owes me. I mean, she, like, really, really owes me.
And have you called her back yet?
No.
Have you spoken about her phone call to your parents?
Why would I? It isn't their business.
It isn't?
The woman called me. I am her son.
Yeah, but you're also their son. Aren't you? Look, I don't envy you, Jesse. And how do you imagine that's going to play out? You'll call Karen, ask her for $6,000, and she'll say what? Just talk it through with me, Jesse. Just imagine the possibilities.
I get your fucking point, okay?
And what is my point?
You don't think she's going to give me the money?
I didn't say that. I don't know what she'll do. How did you feel about Karen calling you at home?
It wasn't Karen. It was Nate. Oh, come on, man. You remember Nate? Starting point guard on the Dalton basketball team. Straight as an arrow, except for when he's sucking my dick. God. Like, my life isn't fucked up enough as it is. Now I have a stalker.
You feel like he's stalking you?
He called my landline. How did he even get that number?
Phone book, possibly.
Who does that?
Well, I know when I was young, we used the phone book quite a lot, actually.
Well, sure, you grew up in pre-industrialized Ireland. It was either that or tipping cows over for fun.
I haven't heard you mention Nate in a while. When was the last time you saw him?
A couple months ago, he was getting on my nerves.
How?
He was just like asking me all these questions. He wanted to see where I lived.
And that annoyed you?
Yeah, it annoyed me. I told him we were homeless right now, but as soon as we found a place, we would have him over for tea.
I seem to remember that you told Josh and Ray something similar when you met them. Something about being homeless because your father was in the army and your mother was a drug addict.
No. He's not in the army. He's in the Marines, and she's not a drug addict. She just has a little drug habit, which causes her to snort all the money he sends us up her nose. And then every once in a while we get evicted and we have to like live in this shelter until she can track him down again in Iraq and he sends us more money. It works every time. It turns Nate on like a Hoover.
If it had been Karen and Marissa had...
It wasn't.
Do you think any part of you might have been relieved if Karen just called Marissa directly?
Wow, you're like kind of obsessed with this. Whose are these?
My sons.
What's his name? What, I can't know his name?
I told you, I don't talk about my children in therapy.
I saw him in the hallway. He seemed kind of sad.
Could you put those back, please?
What would you do if I hurled these through the window right now?
And why would you do that, Jesse? Are you angry with me for protecting my son's privacy?
What would you do?
I don't know what I would do.
Well, do you want to know what Marissa would do if I broke a window at home?
What?
Nothing. She would just like pick up the glass and say nothing. I could bring two guys home and fuck them in front of her on the living room floor and she would just step over us and offer them some tea.
Will she offer you some tea?
Probably not.
Why not?
Because I'm a degenerate. Bet you're regretting you took me on pro bono right about now.
I didn't take you on pro bono.
Who's paying you?
Your parents?
What? Why?
Because therapy costs money, Jesse. Your mother sends me a check every month. Why did you think that therapy was free?
I don't know. I just did. They can't afford this.
They must consider it important.
I should have known.
No, what?
Of course you'd rather pay a therapist than talk to me yourself. Do you think if I stopped coming here, she would pay for RISD?
I don't know. You could ask her.
I once showed her these pictures I had taken for a school project. I was developmentally challenged, so they let me do this like pictorial family tree thing instead of writing a report. I was like 12. She hated them. She like made me promise never to show my father.
And what were the pictures on?
Normal things. The house where we had this reunion. Other members of my family. The beach.
Sounds like there was something in those photographs that maybe frightened her.
Yeah, me.
What do you mean? Look, Jesse.
Look, I know you want me to, like, love Marissa or, like, develop an Oedipal crush on her or whatever you people consider normal. But it's just not going to happen that way, okay? I've read all about this stuff.
Well, what stuff?
Maternal instincts, biological imprints. When real parents see their kid, they get like this hormone surge, OxyContin.
Oxytocin.
Yeah, that's it. And it makes them like feel good. They get like addicted to their baby. But when Marissa looks at me, all she sees are two strangers fucking. I mean, it's fine. I don't feel anything when I look at her either. But you know what's hard though is like all the lying, like pretending that she loves me, pretending that I love her, pretending my whole life hasn't just been one giant.
Finish the thought, Jesse.
Mistake.
This story that you told Nate, the one about being homeless, have you ever asked yourself where that comes from?
I made it up.
But why somebody who's homeless? You tell it so often, it's become like an alter ego. You step in a phone booth, you become a different Jesse. And every time that you enter a new intimate relationship, you start to play this part. And so you remain protected because the person having sex with Josh and Rafe or Nate isn't really you. The real Jesse can't be hurt because he isn't even there. And now, suddenly, you're on the verge of finding out the truth about where you really come from. That must be unsettling. Are you planning to call Karen back this week? Because if you do...
Relax, Paul. If I want to get to RISD, I'll just sell my Adderall or something.
But you knew that the RISD summer program was too expensive for your family to afford. Why did you apply?
I really wanted to go.
Okay, I think that's true. And I also think it was a test that you knew Marissa would fail. Because she had to. She doesn't have the money. And when she did fail, you could get angry at her, which would perhaps make it easier to justify calling Karen back without telling your parents.
You don't have a fucking idea what you're talking about.
Okay, tell me what I'm missing then.
I'll call Marissa right now. You'll see.
What will I see? What is she going to say?
She'll probably be relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah, somebody's finally coming along to take me off her hands.
And what does that mean? What will she do?
I don't know.
Turn up the music, clean the fridge, step
Probably.
over you, make tea?
Probably.
So in other words, she's not going to react at all. She'll ignore the situation completely. Is that what you're afraid of?
Are you this harsh on your own kid?
I told you, I don't discuss...
Your children in therapy. Right. Well, maybe you should.
Jesse.
Because he's headed for a world of pain.
Jesse.
It takes one to know one.